Hey, Magic Man here, and today I'm going to be featuring another ship that I've yet to put on my channel, even though I've had this thing for quite a long time, and it is the Admiral Graf Spee. I feel like this is a pretty great ship. It's very unique. It combines the elements of a cruiser and a battleship. Its top speed is right around 28 knots, but you have to drive or sail in a straight line for quite a long time to reach that speed. You're going to be sailing closer to around 24 to 26 most of the game. And this thing has the guns on it from the Scharnhorst. So these are the 11-inch 283mm guns that are fairly quick in reloading, and they also have a very quick turret traverse. I think it's something like 36 seconds, which is pretty good for battleship guns. And they also reload in about 20 seconds quicker if you have the Adrenaline Rush, which I do not have. I'm actually captaining this ship with my commander off of my T-22. I'm trying to level him up so that I can get Concealment Expert before I move on up into the next German destroyer. And I do actually have control of the camera in the replay. Sorry about that. Switch back to my actual what I'm looking at in game. Just barely came up short trying to hit that Nicholas. One of the things that people don't seem to like about this ship is the fact that it only has 2 turrets, which I can understand. That's only 6 shells you're going to be throwing out there, which is not a whole lot. And I haven't actually looked at the armor model for this Italian cruiser yet. The D'Aosta, or Duca, D'Aosta. Not quite sure how to pronounce that. But I've been told the citadel on that thing is huge, so I was hoping I was going to get an easy citadel here, but it doesn't look like it is going to happen. But I do need to take him out before he pushes in and kills my friendly destroyer there. This is our only destroyer that we have. Luckily, the enemy team has already lost one of theirs. And that looked like a pretty good shot. Maybe one. No. No such luck. This is also another thing people don't like about this ship is the bad German dispersion. But I don't feel like it's treating me too bad right now. I've landed a few shells. Now, one thing that's unique to this cruiser in particular is the fact that, and our Mutsuki just overturned there and ran his butt into that torpedo. It happens, I guess. Unfortunately, we just lost our only destroyer, so that means that I'm probably going to have to try and cap the B point now. But, like I was saying, one thing that is unique to, and we actually get a citadel and sink that French cruiser. French cruisers are so easy to citadel. If you ever see one, shoot at it, because you're going to shave a lot of health off of them if you don't kill them outright. But the Graf Spee actually has a heal, which is unique for a tier 6 cruiser, unless you're going down the British line and they do have a heal. But you also get access to a fighter plane and a hydroacoustic. While I wouldn't recommend hunting down destroyers in this ship, you do definitely have the tools to be effective at doing it. And gonna try and get another shot in on and that pile of rocks just had to be just right there to stop that shot. Just barely didn't get those shells over there, unfortunately. Now, the AA on the Graf Spee is not fantastic, but it is serviceable. You will shoot down aircraft every now and again. And it looks like I'm actually going to get... I thought I might have got a kill on another French cruiser, but not quite. Dude, a ton of damage to him, but don't quite sink him. And I'm in a very dangerous spot right here. I'm right in the middle of the map. I don't have a whole lot of cover. And so I have to be careful. I'm looking at the map, and I notice there's a Koenig and a Fuso that might possibly be able to shoot at me. So I am angling in towards them. And I unfortunately led him a little bit too much and ended up hitting the gun turrets, and both of those shells just bounce off. The other great thing about the Graf Spee is the dual torpedo launchers in the back of the ship. Because of where they're mounted, you get some fantastic firing angles on these torpedoes, and they are 8-kilometer torpedoes, which is it's definitely diverges from the normal German torpedoes, which are typically 6-kilometer. So you got a little extra range on these torpedoes, and they move at 65 knots, so they move at a pretty good speed. And I'm really watching over here because I don't want this Fuso to hit me, and I can't tell if he's moving or not thanks to all of the smoke from the fires, but he is definitely burning up, and unfortunately I'm guessing that's the destroyer that's shooting at me. I think it's the Fubuki. It has to be, because he's the only destroyer left. But managed to narrowly avoid the Koenig's fire there. And unfortunately for me, because I was behind this island, I had no idea these torpedoes were coming, but I do manage to dodge out of the way of them because they were fired in a wide spread. And they died out right there at my ship, so those torpedoes were definitely from the Fubuki. But I don't want to get caught by surprise by the second set, which who knows where they could be. And we actually bounced a shell there from one of those battleships. The other battleship is coming around the corner, the other enemy battleship. I do want to get my front gun turret rotated, so I'm going to try and keep my gaze on the other side of my ship. I am going to fire these torpedoes while he was in my 8-kilometer range. There are 4 of them. As you can see there, the firing angles on these torpedoes are fantastic. It looks pretty similar on the front of the ship as the back of the ship as far as the torpedo angles. You got a little bit less room to work with on the front, but it's still pretty good. You can stay very angled and still launch these torpedoes, which is great for if you're going to be duking it out with battleships, because you definitely need these torpedoes to shave enough health off of them to actually take him out. And this guy is almost dead. That shot right there might have done it, but the torpedo gets there first and we take him out. I feel like this game is pretty much in the bag at this point. And luckily for me, I haven't actually had to deal with any destroyers, because they're quite a pain in this ship. This ship is not super maneuverable. I think it has an 8-second rudder shift time with the rudder shift module. So it's kind of slow. It's a little hard to dodge torpedoes if you're up close. And you will see that kind of closer to the end of this game. But the Graf Spee is a very fun ship to sail, in my opinion. It's a very unique experience. You have battleship guns. You have good enough armor on this ship where you can actually bounce battleship shells, and you also have quite a few secondaries for a cruiser. So when you get up close and personal with enemies, it can be fairly amusing. I definitely feel like I am in a mini battleship. It's great. I actually love sailing this ship. And we get 2 overpins right there with our AP. I was really hoping those shells were going to stick in the ship and do like 33% of the damage, but they don't. And I launched my fighter plane a little bit ago to try and spot this Fuso, and I'm like, why can I not spot him? And then I was like, oh, he's in a smoke screen. So I'm going to turn on my hydroacoustic, and this is German hydroacoustic, so it is pretty good. You can spot people from 5.5 kilometers away with this. And I was trying to aim right under the gun turrets to see if I could get a citadel. And and it's just not happening. I'm doing a lot of damage to this guy, and there goes the secondaries. They're great. Secondaries are great. And unfortunately, the Bajoni launched torpedoes, and that took out the Fuso. I was really hoping I was going to get a close quarters expert there, but it just didn't happen. Now, I know the Fubuki is around here somewhere. He's probably hiding behind that one of these islands. Oh, and no, he's actually moving to an island to hide behind. And can't quite lob the shells over that little outcrop. So, unfortunately for me, I am going to play one of these stupid games where somebody sits behind an island till they get close enough that they think they can kill someone. So, yeah, I was looking to see if he was going to try and back up around this corner. Doesn't look like he was dumb enough to do that. So, and then it looks like he's going forward, but now he's going backwards. So, that's one thing that the torpedo indicator is great for. It kind of tells you what momentum the enemy ship has. So I'm going to take this opportunity to fire at the enemy Koenig, and the shots actually go right where I want them to. I was worried if I hit anywhere else I might not do any damage because of how thick his armor was. I knew his bow, I could overmatch it with the HE on these guns, so did quite a bit of damage to the Koenig. Actually started a fire on him, the only fire I've got this whole game. And I am going to start my turn because this is really about as close as I am willing to get to this Fubuki. I'm going to go ahead and fire torpedoes at him because I'm pretty sure he's probably going to fire his torps and then run. And we got quite a few secondary hits there. And it looks like we're getting quite a few hits on that destroyer as well. And luckily for me, that Koenig was too slow in his reaction to seeing those torpedoes. So he actually eats some torpedoes and we take him out. And then this should be the end of the game here once this Fubuki goes down. But yeah, Graf Spee, pretty fun ship. Can't complain. I have a lot of fun with it every time I take it out. And I definitely recommend it. And I unfortunately haven't had to use a heal yet, so well, I guess that's a good thing. But this ship is incredibly tanky. The only downside of this ship is the amount of guns that it has and the dispersion on them. But end up getting Confederate there, got 3 kills, and I really feel like if it weren't for the guys on the east flank playing defensively and holding out for as long as they did, this game might have gone a little bit differently. But luckily they played it smart, played defensive, and won us the game. Okay, so anyways, that's sort of the Graf Spee for you. A little bit of cruiser, a little bit of battleship, definitely a heck of a lot of fun in my opinion, but it does perform fairly well. In this game in particular, I didn't do a whole lot of damage, but I definitely played it correctly in my opinion, and that's reflected in the amount of damage we did and where we ended up on the experience earned in this game. We ended up getting the Confederate medal, and we ended up with 1,500 points of base experience along with that. And we did quite a bit of damage to each one of the ships that I was shooting at. Not a huge surprise. Most of our damage actually came from the armor-piercing shells, but we got a little bit of flooding and fire damage on top of that. And since this is a premium ship, actually made a fair amount of credits. But the Graf Spee, definitely play it like a battleship most of the time. Anyways, that's my thoughts on this ship. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Okay, so anyways,